I could really understand why people don't want to get saved. I can honestly say I can understand why people don't want to get saved. And you know what? It's sad. Because we look at all around the world what's going on with Christians. They can just throw up their hands and say, why should we even want to get saved? Look at what they're doing to each other. Look at the way they represent Jesus. Look at what the church is doing. The church seem like nowadays have lost so much focus, but not all churches. Big shout out to the people in the churches and the preachers that are doing the true will of God. Thank God for y'all. But there's so many off track now. Religion and tradition done divided us all the way up. I can see why people don't want to get saved. We don't even give them a chance. Can't come into church like that. We want to condemn from the pulpit. We want to stab each other in the back. We want to get in the pulpit and beg for money. We want to beg for a blessing. We want to get up and preach prosperity all backwards. When the lifestyle of the preachers now have gotten so ridiculous and people are sitting back watching the preachers elevate, but the church is still sitting still. Seem like nobody moving forward but the preacher. But everybody ain't bad preachers. There are some dynamic ones out here. But I'm doing this for my boy T. I'm doing this video for you, man. I understand what you mean and you're frustrated, but man, I just got to tell you, you right, and I agree with you 100%. I'm a Christian man myself, and I tell the truth about Christians. Because I don't want God holding me accountable for keeping my mouth shut when I know stuff ain't right. Oh, man, don't nobody want to get saved hardly now. You know what? P.P. Drawing said this in one of his comments the other day about how things are so bad in the church. We are not setting a good example. We ain't giving people a chance to get saved. Like I was telling you in the other video, all the condemning from the pulpit, guys being called faggots and punks and gays because they got earrings in their ear. Well, newsflash, everybody that got earrings in their ear is not a homosexual. And then you need to be concerned about the homosexuals. It ain't my problem. They gonna burn in hell. See, that's the wrong attitude to have. Jesus was concerned about all of us. He didn't just die for the believers. He died for the believers as well as the unbelievers. He died so we all could have a chance to have the tree of life, which is him. Have life and have it more abundantly. I can see why people don't want to get saved. And then when they do get to church, they see all the mess. You got so many people in church fussing and fighting over little stuff. Jealousy, envy, titles, tradition, religion. God Almighty. I can see why people don't want to get saved. We know what's going on in the world. And it's funny, people are always walking around there quoting, well, we should be in the world but not of the world. But the ones that keep quoting that is the same ones living in the world. Being of the world, excuse me. They want to hide, they want to be a Christian on Sunday, but then they want to fit back in with the world on Monday. Now I see why folks don't want to become saved. One thing about me, at least when I was sinning real hard, I was a great sinner. I can admit that I sinned, and I sinned well, and I was in my own little world. So why, after God converted me over, why I can't stand boldly for God and say, you know what, God, you done delivered me. See, once God delivered me, I couldn't go back to what I used to do. No, couldn't. Because he didn't halfway deliver me. And I'm tired of people thinking that they saved one day, then they don't know if they saved the next. Because folks ain't repenting. Folks ain't doing the will of the Father. I see why people don't want to get saved. We don't even give them a chance to in the church. We want to judge them right as they walk in the door with what they have on. So what if somebody, I'm going to say this again, so what if somebody got earrings in their ear and tattoos all over their body? Do you think Jesus would have been concerned about the tattoos or the earrings, or Jesus would have been concerned about their soul, their heart? I see why folks don't want to get saved no more. The way we do each other as Christians. We so busy fighting over little stuff like P.P. Jones say, this little old bitty stuff that we done forgot how to follow Christ. Does preaching good get you into heaven? No. Does paying your tithes get you into heaven? No. Just because you go to church every Sunday, do that make you go to heaven? No. Just because you got baptized, does that mean you going to heaven? No. You can come up a wet devil, just like Many Man said. Nothing but the blood. That's what saved me, not the water. I know somebody don't like that. You not have to do, just because I speak in tongues, am I going to heaven? No. You can speak your tongues right on into hell. People get mad when I talk like this because the devil can speak in tongues. The devil can pray. The devil can praise. The devil can quote scriptures. The devil know the Bible something better than all of us. Oh, let me get real. The devil was with God. I keep telling folks, don't nobody know the Bible better than God himself and the devil. Just like he threw those scriptures on Jesus out there in the wilderness. Y'all forgot about how convincing, how conniving, how skillful, how, impressive that devil is. How good looking, how charming, how deceiving. But we can't see that because we want to think of a beast, of a monster. Told you what the beasts were in Revelations. I see why people don't want to get saved. I see why. We can't even get on one accord. One thing I like about those birds outside, when they get cold and the weather gets a little bad, they all posse up together. And they move out at the same time. They together. They on one accord. Why Christians can't get on one accord? It's amazing to me how people that call themselves so-called saved all the time, but they're always running toward everything else. Good God Almighty. We remember when we was lost in the world, when we wanted something so bad, we did anything to get it pretty much. Anything. If you wanted a certain job, you broke your back to get that job. If you wanted a certain woman, men, you did what you had to do to get that woman. We did what we had to do and we loved it, and we did it with no shame when we was lost in the world. Well, why we can't go out to God like that? But have the right mind, what I mean when I say that. Why we don't have that same zeal? When I was eager for doing it. If I was going to sin, I was going to sin well. If I was going to be in love, I was going to be in love well. Why can't I love God like that? Our zeal for God should be so strong. Once you get this agape love, loving unconditionally, no matter what somebody has done to you, you should be able to move on in life. You shouldn't be judging. Because once again, I don't have no heaven or hell to put nobody in. Just trying to make it in myself. I see why folks don't want to get saved. Christian folks need to wake up. We're doing a terrible job. Good God Almighty. Oh, I'm following Christ. Are you really? Well, why it look like you follow the devil work all the time? Why you still follow that same crowd that you supposed to have been delivered from? Why you still going to them same places that you should have been out of? Why you still drunk, high as hell, and smoking weed with everybody else? Being sober. Why is it that Christians still look like the world? I'm just coming real in this video. Can't tell the difference nowadays. Can't tell the difference. Well, I was at the casino. I got drunk and smoking. I saw your pastor down there doing the same thing I did. But he was at church the following Sunday talking about stop gambling your money away. But he was down there himself trying to hide who he was. Oh, I'm keeping it real. I saw your same choir members in the club. They were the drunkest ones in the club, and all of them after the club was sleeping around with each other. Yeah, because they sleeping around in church. I just did this other video called Holes in the Church. And I know a lot of people probably got mad at that, but hey, the truth just have to be told. I see why people don't want to get saved. We ain't doing a good job. Christ-like. That's why I got to say this. If I got to say this in every video, Christianity is not a religion. It is a relationship with God. It is a way of life that a Christian's supposed to live. It's supposed to be Christ-like. Ain't nothing Christ-like about a whole lot of this stuff going on. I see why people don't want to get saved. Look at all this judging in the church. If you ain't got a certain amount of money in your pocket, ain't no need for you to join certain churches. You might can have a voice, but if the choir don't approve, if they don't approve of you by the way you sound to them according to their standards, you ain't gonna get in the choir. God Almighty. Once again, we want to take certain scriptures out of the Bible and take them and use them out of context. I see why people don't want to get saved. Many Man, I see why. PP Drawers, I see why. I Rock Girl, I see why people don't want to get saved. Orange Flavor, I see why. K-Ray, I see why. Big Papa JT, I see why folks having second thoughts on getting saved. And before I get out of here, because of time's sake, I always tell y'all what this man always used to say across the street from me. He said, I would become a Christian if it wasn't for a Christian, because I didn't know that was the way that Christians were, and it don't seem like they are Christ-like. So I'd rather stay the way I am, and that's sad. I see why people don't want to get saved.